Today, just a short update on where I am with the extension to my layout. The countryside. Here we've got the bottom corners, and if I move over this way very gently, we're going back to the signal box. The points are now in, and the point motors. Sorry about the aspirin tube there, it's track cleaning fluid. So I've been doing some track cleaning. The point motors are in and wired up and working. The one by the signal box, as I said before, very difficult because there is a wooden cross member going across right under the motor, so getting the holes in and the screws into the holes, it was not easy. Anyway, it's done, and I'll show you that in a minute and how it was done. Go back to this corner. I'm having problems with the corners. That corner there over at the back is going to have a sort of hillside in. It'll be a single track tunnel just for a short length on the corner, so I can raise up a hillside behind it. That just fills the corner in quite nicely. Put some more cows or some more whatever on it. Because on the other side of the wall is actually already quite high hill or mountain, I suppose. It's got to be a couple of feet high, so scale would be quite high. And this corner will be a continuation of that, so it'll be logical. However, this corner down by the radiator is going to be, oops, I'll zoom in a bit on it, go a bit quicker. That corner there is going to be a derelict, unused piece of track with one of these, or two perhaps, of these dapole models on it, of wagons. With my great success of rusting track on the two sidings there, which are, the rust is very, very good. I don't want to zoom in on that. The rust on those is very, very rusty, which is nice. And the reason behind it is that I actually deliberately used some very old steel track, which was made by Jouef in the old days in France. And I've got a load of it sculling around points and stuff, loads of old track. And it rusts beautifully. You have to keep it clean because you can't run an engine on it, of course, or a locomotive, because it rusts every 5 minutes, literally every day. So it's going to take a while before that settles down, but it's turned out really, really well. The cows have got a little bit of field, that's just to make them happy. They were bored sitting on the wood, so they've got that. There's some of the models I'm going to use. That's one of them with the door falling off. And in this corner then, this piece of curved track will be very, very rusty, and I'm going to sort of even bury it somewhat in the land so it looks really disaffected of après beaching stuff, you know. It's like a closed section. I think that would be a good way of filling the corner, because corners in actual fact, what can you do with them? You can put houses on, I suppose, or trees or something. It's always difficult to find something interesting to do in a corner. You get a little piece of uninhabited wood to do something with. I mean, you can't really cut it off. I could, I suppose, but then again there are support members underneath it, so what can you do? So that's what I'm going to do, and make it really, really rusty and really so that you can hardly see the tracks, and put these old kits in it or on it, and just make it a fixed set piece. My next problem, of course, is going to be the edges of this board. I've put one little piece of wood on the edge there, just because I was testing it with the track in place. And I've got to work out what I'm going to do to cover this lot up down here. We shall see. As I said, the point motors are in and working, wired up to a 4018 digicase switching device. That's ready to be tried when I finally get the power supply from China and the connecting blocks from China and a lot of other stuff. It is amazing how cheap the stuff from China is, and some of it's quite good, but some of it is absolute rubbish, of course, and the delay is spectacular sometimes. But what the hell, if you haven't got much money, that's the way it's got to go. So I'm waiting for that. Anyway, this is the famous support piece which was giving me trouble because the motor is there and the beam is there, and you can see it's badly done by me. I laid the track out, I built the board and laid the track out how I liked it, and then went ahead. And when I got the point motors and decided to go underneath the board, this is in the way. So what I've actually done is, it turned out to be quite simple in the end, difficult to do but quite simple. In that part there I drilled from the underside with a rather wide wood drill bit, a 16-18mm hole right through the middle of the beam or the support member, and through that hole at a slight angle I was able to get some. I have very long screwdrivers and, luckily for me, very long drill bits. I have a set of drill bits which are something in the region of 4 or 5 inches long, and they go down to 2.5–3mm. They're very flexible, if you're very careful, but I did actually manage even to drill the pilot holes for the motor with that. I held the motor up here, I pushed it in from the bottom, of course, with the holes already done, and held it up not with a clothes peg but a similar thing to a clothes peg which I use in woodworking, a little sort of a grippy thing. So it was held in at nearly the right height, just moving a bit, and I managed to get the screws in with this very long screwdriver I've got from underneath at an angle. It was not easy, but it's in there and it's wired up and it's ready to go. So I've made a little control board underneath. It's sort of temporarily everything's wired in and hooked up. So I'm just waiting, as I say, for these power supplies and things to come, and off we go. Just as an aside, nothing to do with the railway, I've been having an amusing time with the lighting in here. The main part of what was my main workshop, is now the railway, is over there. There's the rest of the rail, or some of it. And as you can see, I hope you can see, it's blue, or bluish. And this bit is sort of fairly normal, bit yellowish perhaps. That area there is lit by fluorescent lights. When I change from one to the other, you can see the blue. If I turn off the lights in this area or move over there to film something, which I shall now do, it looks normal. And here it is indeed looking normal. This is just under the fluorescent lights. However, if we go back over that way to the other side, back round, you can see the difference in yellow over there. It's and as the camera detects it, you can see it turning blue. on this side. So I really don't know what I'm going to do about that. I'll just have to film the two halves of the layout on their own. So a lot of cutting and pasting to do with the video editor there, I think. Well, we'll see about that later on. But I just noticed that the other day. And so, as a parting shot, we'll have a little bit of lights, camera action, as my class 16 pulls a couple of cleaning wagons around the new section, because of course it's filthy with glue and paint and muck, and so off we go. Unless of course it stalls somewhere on the track just because the camera's on it, which is the usual way of things, isn't it? So I'll leave you with that, and thank you for watching, and until next time, see you later.